The goal is to bring you your next favorite band.
Thanks for having us. This is a very cool show.
Yeah, so through many iterations, and we finally landed on the weirdest one by far.
Yeah, simple feelings, and boom, you got a song.
I remember this one time. I had been writing some songs, and I went out. I'm just going right in on this story. I went out, and so I was.
The story's longer than the song itself. We'll go ahead and play it.
And listen, it's going to be everybody's favorite band. Welcome to your next favorite band. That's both the show title and our promise to you. We here at Stereophilia Studio are tireless in our pursuit of finding incredible, genre-defiant artists who are either a hot up-and-coming band or a group that has been delivering for years but have flown under the radar. Tonight, live from the Bavarian Tavern, the psychedelic reggae dub of Trouble City All-Stars. Each month, we will bring you live streams, audio podcasts, and perhaps even a live concert where you can listen to the stories and hear the music of artists personally curated by us based on what we feel will be worthy of your time. Be sure to subscribe and tune in to each episode because the possibilities are endless and you never know who will be your next favorite band. Hello, everybody. I am your host, Phillip Reese, and this is your next favorite band. We are a little bit different this week, on location multiple times. Tonight we are basically broadcasting from a hotel room in Tampa, Florida. But we have a wonderful interview and some fantastic performances from local Bethlehem band Trouble City All-Stars, who are just tremendous. And they are mostly reggae, dub, psychedelic, just a little bit of everything there, but super chill, super awesome people. And first and foremost, would like to give a shout out and a super appreciation to Sam Masoto, owner, founder, brewer of Bond Place Brewing. He has a forthcoming location called the Bavarian Tavern, not quite ready for, public consumption. But he was gracious enough to allow us to set up there to be able to interview Trouble City and also to let them set up their equipment. And they were nice enough to bring PA and whatnot. So this is a first time for us. Normally, people who are going to perform live on our show, it is acoustic. And so this is the first time we have a full-blown PA and drum kit and, pedal boards and all sorts of awesome stuff. So please enjoy the entire interview with Matty, Todd, and Seth, and then also enjoy, for sure, the chill, absolute super cool vibes of Trouble City All-Stars. So here we are with Trouble City All-Stars. Local here Bethlehem band. Love bringing in the local bands when we have that opportunity. Reggae, dub, kind of chill sound. Any other words, adjectives I should put in there?
Psychedelic a little bit.
A little psychedelic.
A little rock in
cosmic,
there.
I guess. Rock and roll too.
It's a weirdness.
It's a nice jambalaya of music.
Cosmic
there.
gumbo.
Yeah, we come from a background of loving tons of genres, so even when we're doing reggae music, you can't help but have that infuse into what we're doing for sure.
Absolutely. So we are honored to have you on the show today. The latest episode of Your Next Favorite Band. It's something that I always talk about here in Bethlehem is we're so blessed to have so many super talented musicians of all different genres.
Oh yeah.
So we were just
for a lot of years too.
Yeah.
Lehigh Valley is just there's always been a lot of good music in Lehigh Valley.
Yeah.
Sleeper.
I always tell people It's kind of like our own little mini Austin, Texas, because there seems to be music available just about all
Austin's-
days of the year,
Austin's
all different styles, and people might be in from out of town or local, and it's just tremendous. Obviously, we're known for Music Fest, but you can come any time of the year and pick up some great live music here, and very often thanks to you all. And so we have Matty, Todd, Seth, Juknevic.
That's us.
3 brothers.
Yep.
So that'll be a really fun story to hear there, how that all came to be, and I'm sure it's gone its ways over the years, but
Definitely. That's all
part of the part of the fun of it all.
part of the fun, part of the story, hopefully. And the other thing that I find that we always like to do is take it all the way back. And we did joke a little bit when you guys were sitting down. We sat a little bit in age order here. So is there elements to how it all started? Anybody influencing each other, picking up music, handing it down, that kind of stuff? Where did it all start?
Dad.
Our dad.
Yeah, our dad. He was a bass player and
Awesome musician in a really cool band.
And then Mom was just loved music, and I think she dabbled with some instruments early on.
we were just exposed to music young age all the time. There was my dad's band would practice, or our dad's band, I should say, would practice in the kitchen,
Right.
And there was always music around, or a guitar, or
something
something
pretty
that
normal
kind
to
of,
us to be around all the time.
Of course, yeah.
And he was we're 2 years apart, and he's
3.
I'm 5.
Yeah, we're 5
from him.
total, so not too far apart.
Right.
So
But we had a drum set in our basement that we could play on. That
all
our
the
parents
stuff-
let us make a lot of noise.
Yeah, all the stuff that
All
our
time,
dad had set up in the basement,
Nope,
they
my dad
eventually
my
let
dad's
us.
got a killer record collection, and he was always cool with they were always playing music. Like him and my mom both would put records on. My mom would when we were really little, clean the house and dance
Whatever
with
we were
us
doing,
or whatever,
yeah.
and put records on, listening to Bowie and stuff like that. And,
Yep.
But real early, we got hip to Sweet and Spooky Tooth and just MC5 and
Blood
real
rock.
just
Kinds
Blood
of weird,
rock,
lots of
you know.
prog rock, lots of good stuff. Just
First
anything,
time he
stuff
played
I love
Weird
still to
shit
this
that
day.
you were
yeah.
just okay, and then we were, he was encouraged us to we always looking at the artwork, Captain Beyond, second
really
album,
cool.
that's just awesome artwork.
Sure.
And
Lots of budgie.
we would always look at that, Budgie, Zappa,
And then you transition to fast forward. Now we're playing reggae, but what we were influenced by was much different than what we play now. But we've
that
played.
came, I think, out of our own exploration.
Yeah.
We loved punk rock and metal when we were
Definitely. I was gonna
teenagers.
say punk rock.
Bad Brains was a
And
huge
then reggae.
introduction
Yeah.
to
It is funny how
the weird
punk-
sneak in of reggae music, and you're oh, okay.
Yeah.
But then when we were kids too, I don't know, Eddie Grant was on
Sure.
you heard it, Rock Down Electric Avenue,
Yeah.
kind of reggae,
On
but
TV.
it was just
Oh, yeah.
weird stuff that infiltrates you. I think
Yeah.
you don't realize.
It's funny how much punk comes up as a lot of musicians' first music.
Yeah.
And from then going on to all different styles. So you're saying, punk to reggae, there was a bluegrass band on that they were listening to punk music first or playing punk music first. It's amazing how that is this entry into...
Totally.
I would love to almost...
Maturity too.
We
and
probably all played in punk rock bands as early bands.
I
As some of
remember
our very first
going
bands.
from punk to reggae too. For me, was also a lot of punk rock had kind of a political message to it.
Oh yeah, that's true.
And then
that's huge.
reggae was just a different version of that for some
Well,
of
then
the
you had all
maybe
that
getting a
early
little bit
ska
older.
stuff too.
Yeah.
That had that full on influence too.
Totally.
That Dance Craze album
Yeah.
had had so much stuff that was
Yeah. What's interesting too is you just talking about having music around in the house early on, and just how important that is. It's so formative for a kid to be able to just have that around, and you were even saying too, the permission to go and explore that.
Oh yeah, the access. Just having like I said, you're gonna be able to go to the basement, play the drums, and then we bother you for an hour or two.
Yep.
And that's how I learned how to play.
Sure.
The drums myself, and we were both in orchestra, so that helped with our bass playing and other things.
We
just
learned
musical,
music theory and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's definitely good to have that in your life as a young person because it'll inspire you. Even though I talk to some musicians and I'm like, oh, your parents must have listened to really cool music. No, not actually. They just listen to the radio. So it depends on how you absorb stuff too.
Yeah.
Or
Music was on in my house, but they weren't musicians. So that's why I don't play.
Yeah.
But I love music because it was always on. And you talked too about the artwork. I just remember staring at for me it was either Kiss or Styx. I remember Queen.
Styx, totally,
Yeah, they all had just really cool artwork on stuff. And so now I feel like that's something that's almost lost because there's the digital downloads of stuff, and you're
this little
missing.
tiny picture.
That Styx album, the Grand Illusion,
Yes.
right, with the weird forest.
Yeah, exactly,
And I used to stare at that so much. It's like even that Cat Stevens album that
Yep.
had like Buddha and the Chocolate Box, that had all the
that's
comic
a
like
good
illustration.
artwork.
I
I forgot
like.
about
There's
that
a
one.
spider in that I always thought
Yeah.
was freaky. I like that. Man, yeah, album art is beautiful.
It
Like,
really
it's
is.
such a-
But we're not going to try and sound like those guys. But if you can go and get album art, go ahead and go get it. And even liner notes too, getting to know
Totally.
more like names of who was the back players or whatever. Like it was just some really, really interesting, formative stuff there. But so where did you guys start in bands? Like where did that take a route for you to go from, kicking around in your basement to now suddenly starting to be in an organized band?
I probably I started it. I think really.
He was
like,
the
was
first one to
one
be in
like,
an
have a
actual band.
and
Yeah,
do.
that played. Yeah.
I was jealous of that, and I joined one of his bands, sang a little bit then.
Yeah.
And then he started doing his own
Yeah,
thing
we had
again.
this like I had a weird, fun band in high school, like just a bunch of friends, and we all played, and like I played bass in that band, and Todd sang, and we wrote a couple like weird original songs, but mostly just did like silly covers and stuff that we liked, and eventually then me and two of those guys started like a punk rock, like kind of Descendants style band, and then a little bit later on, then I guess Todd.
We had the Whackers.
Then the Whackers came
That
along.
was our other
like,
punk
later
band.
on. And me and the other guy from that previous band had started like another band that was even more like polished and still in like a pop.
I was still
kind of
too young,
vein.
so I just watched these guys
But
and would go.
then
to
later
shows.
on,
So
he
he
had
was
his own
influenced
punk
by all
band
that.
And then I had my own punk
No
rock band too,
Blitz.
yeah, which was in No Blitz, which
With
was
a bunch of his
had
buddies
some
that were-
popularity.
Right.
It was around here for a while, which
Yeah.
so it was
But
pretty funny.
Yeah, I had this band Spunk Tank that we were doing some stuff with, and then Spunk Tank, and then Todd had the Whackers, and then I eventually joined the Whackers when Spunk Tank dissolved.
We all would help each other out and join each
Yeah,
other.
it was just
eventually.
like this incestuous thing.
Yeah.
Totally.
But then I also had like other stuff that I was doing in other bands too. I had this band called Fast that I played bass in that was all like crazy surf, funk, experimental, weird music.
yeah.
And it was just like we were all just doing stuff and just we were growing as people and musicians
He was
and
super
figuring
young,
it out.
doing a Black Sabbath tribute band
Yeah,
at
when I
one
was
time
first-
with
that
his
was one of my
buddies.
first bands.
They were
played drums
shredders
and
too.
Did
They
that?
were
We played.
Ginger
Yeah, we
Snaps.
played Black Sabbath and like
That
weird
was in our
surf rock
parents'
that we wrote.
basement.
We had weird originals and we covered Black Sabbath. It was a very strange
sounds
mix,
awesome.
but it was a lot of fun. Though.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really one of my very first bands that with two guys that I went to like school with that were we were really good friends, and it just was one of those bands that just kind of formed a lot of my musical influences and just kind of made a path.
Like
you know,
learning how to play with
learning how to play with people.
too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was really
and
important. That was,
it's come up
that was
too
a
where
good
it's like,
thing.
it's one thing to, again, like either sit in your bedroom, write a song, even play like a open house or like not open mics, open house. Like you just walk into like somebody's selling a house.
That'd be
Oh,
awesome.
yeah.
Yeah, people are like, I'm
selling
selling
your house.
You're selling your house, yeah. Start playing some riffs, yeah. I got you.
So
Oh,
an
yes,
open
yours
mic,
tonight.
but different to be like a band playing a live set with an audience.
And we were
Oh
writing.
yeah, I
you know,
remember one of our first shows playing, a show with their bands, at a fire hall, or at
They played a lot of fire halls.
VFW, a lot of
I think,
fire hall
like,
VFW shows.
Yep.
out of all that stuff, then eventually like came like that Sons of Rhythm thing that went and turned into like Spirit Island.
Yep, and then
And that's when we were doing shows with like I had a band for a long time called the Insidious Rays, and we were doing stuff with.
We would
like,
open.
We would
Seth
do
and I's
shows
band
with
would
them.
open up for his other band.
Sure.
And then we have Stiltskins.
Yeah,
like,
we have our
between
other
all
band,
that's
yeah,
been
we do.
I
going
did want to get to
forever.
some of these. So some of the ones that I think maybe were a little bit more, known. Like so, I wanted to. I moved to Bethlehem. It's going on about 6-7 years now, and I remember the Insidious Rays were a big deal in that moment, to the point of like I would catch that show somewhere and so on, and at the same point, Trouble City was a big deal too in that kind of phase. Obviously, pandemic puts an impact on all of that, but I wanted to definitely touch on Insidious Rays, Rumpelstiltskin. Forgive me for forgetting the name of it, but the one where it's like the Bettys or Karens or
Oh, Susan.
Susan. Sorry,
That was the same band.
Yeah,
as
same
That's
band.
Stiltskin.
It was a
We just dressed as ladies.
female version of
all
it.
the songs.
but there was always the
There's
fun
like- there's
commentary
layers.
about like
Yeah.
going to the mall and
Drinking
complaining.
wine.
Yeah, all that.
exactly.
Yeah, the
Suburban
Garbage Man.
housewife.
Yes,
That's this
Who
guy's
can't relate
brainchild.
to that?
exactly.
Not everybody, but
Yeah,
as soon as you can.
Stiltskins has been around for 20 plus years at this point.
It was
He
just
started
hot.
doing that by
I
himself.
started it solo.
He was
And
making
then-
these weird videos on that
that was
VHS
the best.
camcorder back in the day.
And then Matt had Insidious Rays, who we all would always go to like as many shows as we could.
Sure.
And like I said before, I was like, my brother's killing it right now. I'm kind of jealous. I want to get out there too and do something. And a few times I did acoustic, and then I had Seth join me with like a cool, weird like percussion drum kit thing that he would do. And then we just ended up becoming a 3-piece where
Sure.
Seth was the Red Scorpion, Matt was Dick Spider on bass, and I was Rumpelstiltskin with all our aliases.
I love it.
And we would always pepper that in between Trouble City All-Star shows and
Right.
Insidious Rays shows.
And that's who plays at Krampusnacht, right?
Yeah, we definitely do.
yeah,
Yeah, that's the.
So we should take a moment to say thank you to Sam for letting us set up here.
Oh yeah.
Fun Place has
yeah.
given us so many good times
Yes.
and opportunities
Oh,
to
yeah.
play
The
fun
Krampus
shows.
thing has been a real
Yeah.
fun.
It's starting to become like a
opportunity.
real tradition. So
It
we
certainly
love it.
is. It's a Bethlehem tradition.
Yeah, we
It
love
absolutely is.
traditions.
And on top of that, it basically, the reggae Sunday thing he always has on in the Bond Place Taylor Street location, reggae on every Sunday.
Yeah.
And then here we are on a Sunday in his future establishment
Soon
of
to
the
be.
Bavarian Tavern.
Yeah.
So it's in the works here, and he was just kind enough to let us kind of set up here for an interview.
Great spot.
And there's a stage when we pivot the camera, we're going to be regaled with the.
That was pivoting.
Yes, no, I love the pivot.
That was
I love-
Vanna White style.
Yes.
Yeah.
We'll be showing off the
Kiss.
stage that's here so that there can be, some good live reggae Sundays, and we'll let you guys play a little bit. But yeah, so Insidious Rays, that gets formed around like what time frame?
I started writing under that name in like '98,
Okay,
but the band actually became a band in 2000.
sure.
I'd say maybe like 2001.
Yeah, I think it was, but yeah, right.
I had just been writing songs and cataloging those songs
Right.
under that name, just like on my 4-track and stuff. And
When we lived at home, I would get locked out of my bedroom while my brother would record songs.
"Hey,
It was
hey,
amazing.
this is recorded forever.
This is he
Is he also recording
it was
a
beautiful.
cassette
As a
tape?
brother, I appreciate it because I knew he was in this creative mode and he needed this thing, and that's what he created.
Yep.
The Rays
Just
became,
hear all kinds
it
of
was part of that. Yeah, it was pretty
weird-ass
funny.
sounds
Yeah,
coming
yeah.
out of your
Yeah, we were young musicians,
Yeah.
and I was in my, I had my band. He was doing his thing, and so I definitely understood that.
Yeah. And other members of that band, like John Braun, who's Start Making Sense,
Yeah.
and other things as well. Other people who have been in Trouble City were in that band.
I don't know if they were in that. And anybody was
The
in
last-
I was in the Rays.
Yeah,
so
Seth-
technically,
Oh yeah,
yes.
so sorry, sorry.
Seth became the
I
bass
became the
player
bass
after
player in
Dave
the Rays,
Johnson, who was like
Yeah.
a fucking powerhouse of a
There's
musician.
a lot
That
of-
guy is
yeah.
so talented. It's crazy, just all around as a musician and a wonderful person. And then Mike Davidson, fantastic guitar player. We had Nick Levinos, who was one of the best. He was just awesome keyboard player. He was replaced by Jason Hedrington. He was great, and a whole nother kind of flow in the band. He was only in for like maybe 2-3 years.
What does he do? Works for the
Yeah, Jay does stuff with the Touchstone Theater.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
all
cool.
kinds
Jay
of
does a lot
stuff.
of stuff. Touchstone.
And
He's
he
a very
works at
nice
the
guy.
radio station.
And he does School of Rock. He's one of and all that
Oh,
stuff.
cool.
Jay's a great guy. Yeah, those guys are all good guys. Yeah.
But yeah, and then the very last year of, or like 2 years of the Rays, we had Chris McDermott was on guitar and keys.
Yeah, and he was in Trouble City.
And
That's who I was
and
thinking
he
of,
played
yeah.
in
Yeah,
Trouble
I'm trying to
City
remember
as
too.
well.
Yeah, at one point, yeah, we
because
were
I
all,
don't know if you know our friend Eric Santana, who does
Yes.
a lot of stuff on his own too.
Yes.
He was also an original member of Trouble City
And
too.
he played with us again.
Right,
And he would periodically
Yeah,
come
yeah.
back.
And there have been a few other people playing horns for you all.
So we had two brothers that were the most recent horn players. Aaron, who
Like
would
brothers.
be actually here, who is technically in the Trouble City All-Stars.
He's missing today,
Yes,
and
missing
we
today.
love you,
In
brother.
absentia.
Aaron Crevette,
But his
yeah.
brother Josh was was our saxophone player. When
He was
Josh
the third
left
or
the
second
band to go
sax
to
player.
Colorado, he inserted Aaron into the band and just said, "Here, you're joining the band." And Aaron became, basically
It's
part
funny
of the
because
band.
that's how we ended up with Jay.
Yeah, every
Nick was
horn
just
player
like, I
is
got this guy.
basically, yeah.
He's gonna be your
Yeah.
guy.
Right.
We're
That's
like,
how every
okay,
horn
we'll
player we
trust
had,
you.
yeah.
You tag out. It's like a relay.
Offer you up a musician here as a sacrifice.
Yes.
Alex Royston, he was our original
in
saxophone
tribute.
player, and his dad does stuff at the Ice House and does all the puppeteering and stuff.
And his
like
Oh,
brother,
okay, yeah.
and his brother Ben,
Yep, and his brother
Ben
Ben, yeah.
Royston's in a couple
cool
cool
bands.
bands.
Then we had a trumpet player, our buddy Theo, who is a great composer and does stuff. He's an amazing musician.
He's amazing.
He's just an amazing person and
Now
just a
they're
really
in
great guy.
Brooklyn, New
Yeah, he
York.
lives in Brooklyn, and then Josh
Theo
followed
P.
him.
Bear.
So we had quite the succession, and everyone's been introduced from the next person to the next person.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
it's been a great history of friends
Oh, yeah.
and people we've already known, and then also brothers as well as having brothers. So
Sure. And it must
The
speak
connection is
to
cool.
that next person, that the person who's exiting is saying, I don't want to leave you guys out. Like, that must
No, it
mean
was
something
never-
to the incoming musicians
Yeah,
saying,
it was never like they were leaving for a bad reason.
Yeah,
right.
It's just like people move on, or they have other things going on.
sure.
You know,
I
there
was
may have
in
been
and
one
out
or
a
two
couple-
times where
He
it was
left.
somebody that
He
didn't
left
really
the
fit
band
in.
and
Right.
came back.
But you know,
I was in for a while.
Matt was in
left.
for a while.
I
Left,
only
came
think
back.
we only ever had one person that nobody liked that was there for just for a little while.
Mhm.
But then-
And you know, you don't have to worry about their name because you don't want to talk shit or nothing. They suck real bad. And everybody
They'll
knows
love
who it is.
They'll
You
love
know what I'm
Lost,
talking
yeah.
about.
They'll love Lost. Yeah.
You go to hell.
That's right.
No,
Yeah,
it's
just
but
keep
very
going.
rarely do you have
Yeah.
that happen where it's like any kind of bad blood or anything. It's usually just people moving on or doing their own.
Certainly.
Yeah, a lot of guys just left for other. They moved to different states.
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing.
Yeah,
It's Colorado.
yeah,
and-
Colorado,
If you're in
Texas,
Colorado, you can't
Colorado,
come
Texas,
in
Brooklyn,
on
yeah.
Saturday and
It's
play
hard,
the
yeah.
fun house.
Be a little
Yeah.
rough. You,
Yeah.
you might be able to commute, but
yeah.
the fun house is worth it.
But even Aaron lives in Lancaster, and he commutes from a
Yeah,
long
he's
way.
pretty
So
far.
he's a trooper for
Sure.
being dedicated
Yeah.
to the band. So we always appreciate.
Yeah, he always is,
Make the
makes
things
it
that he does,
90%.
Yeah,
of the
yeah,
time.
Yeah.
So if we look at Trouble City, where does that get born? Where does the
2008.
okay?
We were not. We had played. Todd and I had played in a band previous to that called Spear Dawn, which was like a weird 3-piece kind of reggae jam kind of band.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit of a jam band, but reggae kept creeping into it.
Killer guitar
And then
player,
we
that band.
yeah, our
Yeah.
buddy Jake, who does
Jake Hack,
yeah,
yeah.
real nice guy. And then
Sure.
we
And it's always been bass and drums.
Yeah,
and
we
guitar?
have.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
always.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've always been singing, bass, drum, guitar.
I started playing bass first.
Did you?
Well, yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Technically, he started playing bass and then
He knows.
and then changed the guitar. But he's always been a great bass player.
It sounds too like you were saying. I guess your dad played bass. So
Yeah,
that's
that
yeah,
played bass.
that's-
all
So
the
we
natural.
All of
That
us
we've
play
all
bass.
played bass.
That would be
It
easy.
started
That
with
would
the
be
dad.
epic.
Can I play your bass?
Yeah, we both him and
My
Todd and I
first
both played
instrument
drums.
was playing upright bass in orchestra, and so was his
Yeah,
too.
so was mine.
I was
Yeah.
just in chorus.
Yeah.
I just did
We
chorus.
sang it. I was in choir, chorus, glee club, all
Yep.
that shit.
Yeah.
They say you're a nerd. I said, just wait and see what's gonna happen next. I'm gonna be a bigger nerd.
That's right.
Just give me a little
We
time.
nerd out.
So it's 2008 in Trouble City.
We get in touch with each other again. Todd and I. We form a band with Eric Santana and another guy. And originally, I was playing drums and not playing bass. And we decided that after like a practice or two, that we would switch that around. He played.
Yeah, we
drums
needed
and we needed
other
to figure some
instruments.
things out. And it was myself, Eric Santana, our buddy Alex, and our buddy Matt and
Yep.
Todd, and we
Yeah.
started that band on a whim. And we just wrote a bunch of songs, and we
Yeah,
had a-
Matt
we put a-
Gerhardt,
They
he's
got
another
catchy.
guitarist.
Yeah, we put
that
out
was
an album
insane.
and we
Yeah.
got to open for
guy's
Stephen
so
Marley
good.
Yeah.
the first couple months that we played. We
Wow.
played Music Fest our very first year, and we kind of kept going. And over the course of time, people came and left the band. Like I said, Matt joined the band and left and had some other guitar players and horn
Sure.
players. But since 2008, we kind of just started writing music.
I was
wrote
when
a
we had
couple
Matt
albums.
Country and Matt City.
Yeah, we had Mike. Yeah, we had our buddy Matt Gerhardt, who's one of my true blue friends. I love him. He's in
He's
Austin,
in
Texas.
Matt's
Yeah,
amazing.
He works
producer,
for the
engineer,
producer
musician.
from the drummer of the band Spoon.
Okay.
He's his audio engineer and producer at his studio in Austin. So
Yeah, he went out there
Matt
to
did really
do
well for
stuff.
himself. And
Yeah.
they went to Berkeley, and he's just a super great guy, great guitar player. Beautiful soul.
human.
Yeah, beautiful human. Yeah,
That's awesome.
We always met when he comes back for holidays. He usually sits in and plays with us.
Yeah.
So he's great.
Come
Yeah,
right in,
come
just
right
be
in,
happy
come
to
right
be
in, just
playing.
play.
He
Yeah,
hasn't
it's one of the
been
best
gone,
things
you'll
ever.
never
Yeah, we
know.
always love when he's back around. So
He got
That's
that.
fantastic.
He
Shout
got
out
the
to our buddy
southern
Matt,
twang
yeah.
now
Yeah.
because it was down in Nashville,
He's
he's
a-
in
he's a
Texas,
good dude, yeah.
other places like that.
It's hard to avoid. It just
Oh,
comes.
yeah,
it comes
it
naturally.
Comes naturally.
Yeah, we really haven't stopped playing. I mean, obviously, depending on what goes on throughout the, life changes some things.
Sure,
but
we've been
really,
going steady though.
Yeah, since 2008, we really just
Yeah.
kind of had a couple lineup changes here and there.
But the
just
core,
simple
and
things,
that's what's cool about us being brothers. The core has always stayed.
Right.
Yeah.
So as long as we have this 3-piece that's here right
Sure.
now, and then the people that we work with, that's kind of like, it wasn't really the original point of the name Trouble City All Stars, but like over the years we realized that like the All Stars thing is because we play with all these amazing
Yeah,
people.
that makes sense. Yeah.
Over time.
Yep.
So,
And it's
Yeah, we had 7 guys in the band at one point, I think, and we had everybody. And
Yeah.
I think I saw a YouTube video
It's 2 men.
where it was.
Yeah, it was huge.
that
yeah,
was-
yeah.
You
That
can't
was
get paid
crazy.
good like that.
was so much.
But you have great sound. That was we had
That was
both horns and 2
phenomenal.
keyboards.
Double
And,
horn,
Sure.
double-
Yeah, we
Well,
had a lot of
speaking to
fun.
that, there have been times that I've seen you. I shouldn't say times. There's a bunch of times that you'll play with Groove Merchants.
Oh yes.
And you'll share the stage at some points, and that puts out there. There was a time at which they had a 2-horn section, you had 1, and then obviously you've got
the
this
super
Oh,
jam
yeah, the
stuff.
wall
is
super
of
jam,
sound.
yeah. And it's just like, but it's so awesome. But I was going to
fun,
ask
fun.
about that. Like, do you practice a song? Do you pick the same one and just hope it turns out okay? Like
nobody would ever really believe it, but
we only practiced
goes into it.
Only individual band practice, but
We
there's
did the
never a
songs we
group
knew we were
practice.
going to do.
Yeah, we just picked the
individually
list,
and with them.
Yeah.
And
When we get to the show,
sound
that
check,
day,
we
sound
all
check
kind of
it,
go,
Sound check
okay,
is we were like,
That
let's,
sounds good.
let's run it
Yeah.
and see what
As
we
long
need
as
to
everybody
fix real
knows their
quick.
parts. Yeah,
Sure,
they're
those
good,
guys
yeah.
are really talented
Yeah,
too.
they're,
So
they're very
they're
very
similar to us,
confident,
where
yeah.
I don't think it takes them very long to get stuff nailed down because they're all super comfortable with each other.
Right.
Yeah, it was more of just like coming up with the songs that we were going to play for the jam each time because the last 2 years we did different themes technically. So
Sure.
we chose different songs. So I guess figuring out like what you're going to play,
Right.
who's going to take a solo, who's going to sing,
Yeah,
who's
yeah,
going to
yeah.
do this, and then, you know, as it goes, those guys
And
are
it's
great
funny,
to work
like
with.
some of
They're
those,
easy, you know.
some of those moments are even just discussed right there.
Yeah, right there.
While
Yeah,
you're,
yeah, while
you're
you're
grabbing
playing,
some
yeah, yeah.
salad in the
Yeah,
dressing
yeah.
room, and you're going, "So, do you want to do this solo?
Yeah, you're just-
I learned
yeah,
these."
we're all-
And it's
yeah,
like,
we're
oh, well, I
just-
learned
Yeah,
these.
last
And
minute.
Yeah,
it's
those
just
I'm
shows-
sure a lot of
yeah.
people pine over moments like that and take too much time thinking about it. I think it's kind of good to just like, you know, work really hard at what you do and practice a lot, but you don't always have to. be
No.
like-
Well, there's a lot
no,
of
the
trust.
talent
like-
kicks in. I
If
mean,
you know what you're
jazz
doing
musicians
sometimes-
do that kind of
Yeah,
thing. So
just let it.
if you all have the trust in each
That's
other,
right.
Yeah,
And
that's
then
the
it's
truth thing,
also
trust, yeah.
exciting to just fly.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
I'd like to
No,
see
he
what's
was
going to
very
happen.
excited. Yeah.
Those moments, because that's the one thing that happens once, and that moment is it. That,
Yes.
that musical moment that we do
Yeah.
that, because we'll never play those songs again.
Right.
That's the only time we're gonna play them together.
Yep.
You know, we only, so that first time is a
Yeah, yeah.
very, you
If
know,
you
very
over
cool
rehearse
time.
that stuff, it kind of takes the magic away.
It
too,
totally
you
would,
know?
yeah. I caught one where it was all of you out there at One Center Square, which now isn't even a
Oh,
thing.
yeah,
anymore.
yeah.
It was out in Easton, and it was just fun. It was just a good night. I
was
think
a-
it was actually like a Good Friday
That's a
show.
cool
I do remember that.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was a
but-
really fun show. Yeah.
I wasn't in the band at that show.
Yeah, he wasn't there for that one,
Not
but
that
that was a
night.
good time though. Yeah, it was a fun. That
We
was a
got
fun show,
fired
yeah.
for one
No,
day.
but we
and
saw the
they came
Queers
back.
there.
Yeah, we did see good. I saw some good punk rock there. Yeah,
Yeah, we played with Murphy's Law there.
yeah, played Murphy's
Trouble
Law.
City.
Yeah, that was at One Center Square. Yeah,
There
rest
was
in peace.
expired. It might
I know, right? Exactly. I was
Yeah,
surprised.
apparently
Closing
yeah.
or something maybe.
They sold the building. But actually, it's always one of those things where, like, you know, as one departs, a new one shows up. You've got the new one that's going into Allentown.
Yeah, so-
Yeah. Oh,
yeah,
that's
which is
right.
nice,
Yeah, yeah.
Cool.
I heard
So-
about
Yeah, gotta
that.
keep making some venues for the people to play. You know,
Yeah,
that's
exactly
great
right.
spots,
They're probably
yeah.
just gonna turn it into a Dippin' Dots or something.
Let's
Love,
hope not.
love me a Dippin' Dots, a cheesesteak and Dippin' Dots.
Yeah.
Maybe a
With
what
live music, though.
What about
Let's
Coors?
keep it
Is it the
with the
Coors
ice cream.
Brothers ice cream? Is that what we're looking for? The Shore ice cream? Is it Coors Brothers?
Wow.
Yeah, that's what
Oh,
it's
yeah.
That
That's
orange
good stuff.
creamsicle. Yeah. I'm getting hungry now.
Yeah. So, other questions. Like, so for me as a non-musician, it always struck me as, like, blew me away that you would sing and play drums at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm guessing, obviously, at some point it just clicks. But is that hard in the beginning? Is that like? It strikes me as
I mean-
of all the instruments you could play and sing, drums seems to be
It
hard.
would seem like it, I think, but it's actually not. I often find it. I play, with Rumpelstiltskin, I play guitar and sing. That's a little more difficult for me, but I think it's up to the person.
I guess so.
themselves.
Yeah.
He's our Don Henley.
For some reason,
That's right.
like when we go back
Phil
to like
Collins.
Oh, yeah,
when you
he's
were
our Phil
asking
and
about
Don.
when we first started, I really wanted to be the singer again because I often would sing,
Mhm.
and we needed to rotate people around, so I had to play the drums. I didn't have to, but I decided I wanted to play the drums because I've been a drummer for a long time too.
Yep.
So I sat down and started singing, and for some reason, with the reggae, because it's a little bit of a simpler type of music, but not really, but it is
Sure.
a little bit. It's kind of more mellow and stuff. I felt like it was easier because of the genre too.
Yep.
To sit down and just and then sing on top of it for me. I'm sure some people would find that tough, but it really depends on how music is weird. It's the way your brain works.
Sure.
Some people are, amazing guitar players, but
Yep.
then if they go up there to sing, like their fingers stop working.
Mhm.
We don't really know what makes it do that.
Yeah.
But at this point now, which is really awesome, like all of us sing a little bit in the band and
Sure.
do backup vocals for each other, and even more than we ever did. And I love that because for a long time I was like, I gotta sing and play the drums too, and I was like, come on guys, but I enjoy it though too, to
Sure.
be honest. But
You sang in the,
It takes
back in the
a-
day, you sang in
yeah,
the spirit.
in our
We all
band.
sang in the spirit.
But yeah,
You
I
sang
think
a
I
lot.
think if your brain's wired that way, it's not really
It must be.
hard.
Yeah, it must be.
But often people will mention that and say, "Oh, that
Mhm.
that seems different." Because I think it's just because you don't see it a lot.
Right.
Because people often want to see that singer and that front man out in the front.
Sure.
but you don't really have to be.
No.
There's
I
not
just
many
try to
reggae bands I think
push
that have a
the-
drummer as a singer.
No, I wouldn't think so.
We played with
there
them.
any?
Well, we played with them. I think at a couple points in festivals, we'd play with a very handful of bands that had singers and drummers, or people who sang and played
You'll
the
see-
drums.
yeah, you'll see
We
it
had a
all the
couple
time.
that were they may not have been
And
reggae.
it's just not
they were
really
that kind of
mainstream
style, yeah, but
unless
just
like
not us, yeah.
Phil Collins and stuff.
Unless you're an Eagles fan,
Yeah. And
I love Phil though.
Got on. So music-wise, song-wise, you have this great mix of originals and some covers and such, and obviously done in your style. How does that process work? Like, are there certain songs you just pick and know are going to work, or do you write them collectively, separately?
As far as originals, I guess everybody kind of brings an idea maybe to the table, and we kind of over the years. I mean, I think somebody I had a bass line. Oh, I got this guitar thing.
Reggae is like a puzzle. It's like the guitar does its own thing completely. Mm-hmm. It switches. It's different because the guitar is more like the rhythm instrument.
Sure.
The bass kind of takes the melody.
Yeah.
So he'll come up with the melody. He'll come up with the
rhythm.
That's interesting.
I hadn't thought of that, but yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, it's different than most rock,
Yeah.
And then typically these guys, I'm not even doing anything on the drums yet, and they're going to be doing melody and rhythm. Once I hear that, I'll listen to it and say, what would sound good on that vocally.
Sure.
And then the drums is just, classic reggae drumming or a little bit of whatever I come up with on the end. But I usually think about the writing, the vocals and stuff more than the drum part.
Yep.
And
then is the horn come in later?
Yeah, he peppers it. I mean, but oftentimes too, the piano players and horn players have written some of our better songs over the years too, because they're really good at that.
Or somebody comes with a melody line in their head and they sing it to our horn player, hey, I got this idea. It's really just a shared kind of project, between. I've written. We all kind of. I got this thing I wrote at home.
There's definitely not one person that writes and creates everything. We have always done it all collectively, and almost always we've all kind of been in agreement of whatever we come up with. Very rarely would there be a time where we're like, I don't want to do that.
He has free reign for lyrics because the rest of us didn't really write the lyrics throughout the years. That was the one thing that we would provide. Here's this music, make some drums, put some lyrics on this thing. Here you go. You know what I mean? So it's kind of it was always all of us pitching in.
But Matt's a really great lyricist. I mean, he's done it for years and stuff. And Seth is a great singer too. We share all this stuff together. Even if I'm the singer, or the lead singer or whatever. But I've really been enjoying the past couple of years because they've been joining me, and also being brothers, we kind of all have the same voice too. So nothing's gonna really gonna clash.
Similar timbre.
I'm sure when people listen to this interview and we're talking over each other, they're gonna be like, "Who's talking right now?" We're trying not to talk over each other too much.
Yeah, no, we're good.
So we're just gonna melt together.
My favorite is Jumbo Shrimp. I think that song is killer.
Thank you.
And it's just so catchy. To me, it should be on the radio, to be honest.
But we're still working on it.
Such a silly song. Yeah.
That's one of our earliest songs.
And that's what I was going to ask, because I think one of the first shows I went to, you either said it before or the end of the song, where you're like, we haven't played this one in a while, we want to bring it back. And I was like, why would you ever not keep that one around? It's just so good.
It's such a funny song.
We ended up building a pretty big catalog of songs, so we were able to take stuff away and still have fun stuff.
It's our fight against global warming, really.
Yeah,
It's our joke, but it's our serious take, but it's this really light song. That's about fishermen and
people
shrimp.
that are out there doing things like that.
I mean, I love playing the bass line. It's
just a cool song.
Yeah, it's just a fun
It's
song.
a great song.
I think even when we wrote it, it was almost like a joke at first.
Right.
But I guarantee you, and I think you hear this from a lot of pretty famous bands and stuff, they're like, that one song that they wrote that wasn't supposed to be the serious one and that wasn't supposed to be the big hit, that's the one everybody likes.
Yep.
And you know what? We still wrote it and we still enjoy it, so it's fine.
That was on our original album.
It changed a lot over the years. It definitely
14, 15
turned
years
into some weird super jam.
We get it real psychedelic now because even times, we're playing these same songs over years and years, so we'll change them during the course of the night in the song just for fun because we enjoy playing them differently, and
improvising is huge.
We'll be able to because we know how to jam with each other well, so we'll just let's get trippy on this part or whatever, or make it short and sweet. It just depends on how the night's going.
I think the first time I heard it, or maybe second, whatever, it was probably 18 minutes long, and I loved it. You're just went in dreamy land with it. And
I think we used to go right into another song too, like a Bob Marley song after.
I think it was.
We used to do a couple different. We've done a couple different things, transition to other songs.
We
blur the lines of. I wouldn't call it jam band, but we're
fans of that stuff.
Our music to that.
And in the jam band scene, a lot of times they like to take that one song. Like people that are fans of the Grateful Dead know when you look at an album, it has that little arrow. Terrapin Station's going to go into this or whatever, and this and that. we definitely like doing that with our songs too.
Sure.
And I think it keeps people from getting bored, or maybe it makes them bored. I don't know. But we like
I've heard the same group for the last 10 minutes. Yeah, I'm not really sure
but
yet.
if we're having
either
fun
way,
with
yeah,
it,
I guess
and
we're
everybody
having
else
fun.
is
Yeah.
too. Like that's
Yeah,
definitely
it
a
is,
fun
yeah.
thing.
It's hard too because like there's a weird line. There's a fine line between the stupid and clever of like getting too too
It's
far
so true.
out.
Sometimes
you
I'm
can get
like,
too far
we
out,
gotta
and
stop
people
doing
are just
this
like,
one.
Yeah.
Well,
I
we have
don't
that
even know what you're
built-in,
doing. But
we have
then
that
there's the
built-in-
times where you get far out and people are
Yeah,
there that
yeah.
get it,
They
and
have
they're
a
like,
good
yeah,
time,
keep
yeah.
going. So it's, you can really read.
is,
You have to
yeah.
read the
Tough
room.
balance.
You have to
Gotta
be,
read the
yeah,
room.
be careful. Yeah.
We have the built-in brother thing too, where we can just go like this and just like do like one
Yep.
very slight look, and we're like, all right, the song's done, or keep going.
Yeah.
Sometimes people don't pay attention. Sometimes they do.
Sometimes they
that's
do.
all right.
I pay attention. We're all doing the best we can.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, and from the cover side, you guys do Beatles songs. You guys do Led Zeppelin, that kind of stuff. Like, what
I
are the
think a lot of the stuff that was not reggae. I mean, we do a few Grateful Dead songs.
Grateful Dead? Yep.
Yeah.
We used to play Cheap Sunglasses by ZZ
Z-Top.
Top.
Yeah, I used to play all kinds of silly stuff.
When it came to like reggae cover songs, we always tried to not do the songs that were super popular, because anybody could do that. And a lot of times we play shows, and you got the drunk people play "No Woman No Cry,"
Right.
and play, "One Love," and like, and not
Everybody
that,
wants to
not
hear
that we don't
Sublime.
like those songs, but
like
we
that.
felt if we were going to cover some songs that we should dig a little bit deeper.
Yeah.
Because I think people would like it even if they weren't familiar with that song.
That's
Yeah.
also
And
the
it's
stuff
that
we
we
listen to.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
too.
what we listen to
It's
though,
like,
too. It's the
you
stuff that we
know,
like. You know what I mean?
Out of
More so
respect
than
for
just
the
like
artist
that,
you're
yeah.
going to cover,
Totally.
like give people something
Yeah.
different. That
And I
maybe
like
they
too
haven't
when
heard.
you're picking a non-reggae song, doing it in a reggae style. Like
Yeah.
to me, that's fun. Where
It's
you're like
fun.
sitting and enjoying a beer and going, "Wait, that's."
Yeah, we
You know?
did Judas Priest
I was
for the
just
one
gonna
show.
say,
Yeah, we did
Most
Sultans of
recently,
Swing. You know, we did
Living
stuff
After
like that,
Midnight reggae.
Exactly,
style.
yeah.
stuff like that.
And
yeah.
people know those songs, but then they get to hear it in a different style,
Yes.
so it makes them.
That's
they're
super
like,
fun.
"Oh,"
Yeah.
ears perk up and
Yep,
they
yep,
smile.
yep.
And they go, knock it off.
Yeah. So another collaboration you guys do is with another local band, Space Camp. And I just kind of
Yeah.
wanted that seems to be some really cool stuff you guys did a set
Shout
of
out to Space Camp. What up, guys?
That's right. And you did did you go to the recording studio with them recently?
Yeah, we were there.
Matt and I did stuff for them, I guess.
Cool,
you know,
okay.
I'd say,
Well,
so,
yeah, that was different though than when we did the
Oh no,
Least
we
of All
went to the
Studios.
least, yeah, least
We
of
went
all,
to
yeah.
Least of All
Yeah, that was cool.
recording sessions with them, and that was in
Brooklyn.
Yeah,
New
Brooklyn,
York.
yeah.
And basically, what that record recording
They were-
place does is you do a one-off, one
They
song,
cut direct to
Direct
vinyl.
cut to vinyl.
Oh, fun.
A lot of
Yeah, so
pressure.
people
wild, lot of
call
pressure.
in or not call in. They
They
Order
request
ahead.
the
request what
song.
You
songs,
order ahead of time,
songs they
basically,
want on
yeah.
their record, and so that's what we did according to their numbers. It was
Sure.
like we're gonna do 11 takes of this song, and
Right.
you
Yeah,
know,
we're gonna do 6 of this.
It was interesting
pretty fun.
process.
Yeah,
really
it was-
fun.
It's a little
Yeah.
stressful, but
Yeah.
we didn't rehearse a ton with them. But
And you're on a time
we've
limit
always
there,
thought they
too.
were super cool guys,
Yeah.
and we liked their music. And to have other musicians ask you to be their backup band is a really nice compliment.
Yeah.
It means that they kind of trust you and like what you're doing.
And
So I thought that was kinda
really
cool, too.
solidified our whole like real
Yeah.
like musical. We were friends, but then that really like locked it in.
Yep.
And, our
That was the
musical
first time we did
relationship.
something with them musically, right?
True.
All
Yeah,
together,
yeah,
yeah.
all together.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
And
then
then after that, Matt and
then it
Seth have been
trickled in.
recording stuff.
Yeah, we did stuff at Music
For their
Fest
new
with them
song.
too.
Yeah,
as
doing
well.
live
Because
stuff
we played
with
at the
them.
Music
We're
Fest.
playing at the 420 Pocono Cannabis Fest with them, as we're gonna play a couple songs as their backing band, which
Yeah.
is coming up the Pocono Raceway coming
Yeah.
up this in
Fourth-
April,
Awesome.
April
And
26th.
we're playing along with the DJ. It's
Yeah,
like real
pretty
neat.
It's different. Yeah, it changed. Their different style than what we do. So learning their songs.
Interesting
and-
challenge for us.
Sure.
and for them, I'm sure too, to play
It's-
with a band.
for
They
me
never
to
did.
play along with a
so that's a
DJ.
big thing for them.
No,
So
I can
And it's
imagine.
great because they're so stoked about it too. Like we're all just having
energy's
like
like-
such a good time
yeah.
doing it, and like we
Yeah,
already
that-
like already like vibed as
Yeah.
friends. But then it
That
was
set at
just
Music
like,
Fest, you could tell, just drew people in.
It was
even
super
if,
cool.
even if they didn't know either band or didn't even necessarily wouldn't have been their choice of music genre, it just
You
was
kinda
such a
won 'em
fun
over,
vibe.
yeah.
Yeah,
Totally.
like
It
it
was a
was
real
just
good time, yeah.
brought people in, and that was a lot of fun. It was a great
Yeah.
set.
Thanks.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, I had a good
I love
time.
when that
Yeah.
happens. I love when that happens
Right.
because
Well,
I feel
fun,
like
yeah.
a lot of times if you can win people over that don't even know who you are, that's a good sign you're doing something
Exactly.
right.
Yeah. And you guys ever have thoughts of going back into the recording studio for Trouble
all the
City?
time.
We've been talking about
Yeah.
it for a
Yeah.
while,
We
especially
set up
since
a-
Seth and
yeah.
I started. We were recording stuff with Space Camp, and working on like just demos together, and
We've been
I've
basically
been,
recording
like,
at my house.
Yeah,
in my
reset up
room.
just like
home
producing,
studio.
engineering,
Just home
recording
studio
a bunch of
stuff,
stuff all together.
Yeah.
And Seth and I were, I said to him, I was like, there's no reason we can't record our own stuff, especially since this came out so good. That's the right there. Proof's right there.
And that's probably the flip side of what we talked about before, where digital downloads are of missing that opportunity to tangibly hold something. The flip side is you can record your own music and put it out there,
Very easily,
and it wouldn't have necessarily been the case go back 5-10 years.
Much harder for that then than it is now. There were the opportunities there.
Between all, I've been recording for a long time. I went to school for audio engineering. It's fun to do that too, because I've been doing it forever and I love it. Like, it's just part of what I do, and like to do it for our own purposes is even better. And it's nice too, because you're not in like although you have to be careful, but you have time to work on the things, and it's like
we wrote new songs during our downtime during COVID, and so we had time to when we weren't really playing. So now we're just recording them. That we set them up, and we have more songs we have that we started writing that we need to finish basically. So we have almost an album in the works. Just getting everything completed and kind of finishing all the details and really just finalizing some stuff. So it's almost it's around the corner, I guess you could say, in a way. So it's not too far.
I think
it's been a long time.
I think what happened to us too, after we did our Trials and Tribulations album, which was the last one we recorded, we ended up getting so busy playing so many live shows that technically we really didn't have time to do that. And we ended up really just enjoying playing live shows all the time. Like, if you wanted to hear Trouble City music, if you wanted to have that in your airwaves, you had to come see us live. Right. So we just played tons and tons of shows.
It'd be cool if we didn't have day jobs and we were able to.
Is there any way somebody could help us
We always
out
learn different covers.
Then we could record albums all the time and then just play shows.
But hopefully,
all the time.
in the future, we have plans definitely to record these songs that we wrote a little while ago and then add more to that. Maybe re-record some of our really old stuff that we haven't put a little twist on it, because we definitely sound different than we did when we first started.
Totally, and I think too, and I could be totally wrong here, but that Trials and Tribulations album doesn't have the same vibe of your live show. And the only reason I say that is because
not at all.
Right. And that's why I was like, I would love to hear a live recording.
I feel like that's what, if we recorded now,
very different
even if our album was recorded, polished in the studio now,
I don't even play on any of them.
He's not even on any of them. Only him.
It would sound more like it should.
I
think our listening public deserves a really, similar to what they know, Trouble City album.
You can listen to the first two and a live recording, a live show on our Bandcamp website.
Okay.
We do have our first two, and then we played a show, some festival. I think it was at a hotel in Allentown, Airport Road. But they recorded it live, and we got a live set, which is actually pretty cool. It was with Josh, our old saxophone player, and it's a 4-piece, but it's a fun show of originals and covers, kind of mixed together. But there's stuff out there,
we do have a lot of YouTube videos.
A lot of YouTube videos
over the years that people can at least listen to if they want to hear the live.
And see some live stuff. It's definitely different. I did record the Super Jam set from our thing and that, so I got to upload that. So we do have some at least more recent live.
We definitely could and should put out a live album sometime in the future too. I think that because we definitely sound totally different live.
Yeah, the albums are definitely a representation of the songs that we write, but they're more of the recording studio style. It's very much
which we love. Which we love. Todd Shire.
Our buddy.
Five Tails Studio.
All three albums are recorded there.
I just think there's also just the fact of the energy feeding off of a live audience. It's just
so different.
It's going to make you sound different.
We like the live appeal. I think the studio was fun. I think it was neat to create the songs in that setting, and then I think it's fun to take those songs though and play them differently live or be different live.
I think the studio.
I don't want to see an album. It's nice to hear the songs played that way, but
I agree.
I don't want to just hear the album very
You can
flat.
just sit at home.
It doesn't feel the same. I want energy in the atmosphere.
Totally.
Especially in a reggae band. I mean, it's upbeat. It should be, happy and stuff. Sometimes we're pretty sleepy, but that's it depends. That's normal.
How many, how many space cigarettes you have.
So should we give the audience some live music?
Yeah, sure.
To give them a flavor of Trouble City?
Yeah, we have some new songs that we should play.
Yeah, do you want to hear a new song? Huh?
New song!
I think they do. Let's give them what they're asking for.
Hyped up for it now.
Yeah.
So.
All right, cool. So we'll spin this around. We'll let you guys get set up, and Well,
Right.
listen
See you
to
in a
some
minute.
Trouble City
See ya.
All Stars.
Sounds good, guys.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, the worldwide premiere of Rough Road. Is that what it is? Road Rough. Got it backwards there. Ladies and gentlemen, Trouble City All Stars.
Road
ladies and gentlemen, there is Road Rough, Trouble City All-Stars new music not yet released.
Not yet released.
So you heard it here first.
Road Rough, get it in here.
So, Matty, Todd, Seth, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you too, Phil. Appreciate
Anything
it.
else we can promote here at the close? I know you talked about that.
Going after that Pocono Camp.
The Pocono
Fest,
thing?
Space
Pocono
Camp,
Camp Fest, and then we got a
Cottonmouth
bunch
Kings
of-
are there, all kinds of crazy bands.
Yep.
Hey, we got a bunch of shows coming up. Third and Spruce Draft House in May. We're playing a couple of things coming in June. Just look at our
Check the
Instagram and our
Instagram.
Facebook. We're going to be posting all our shows coming up. We're getting all our dates set for the summertime and
Awesome.
everything. So anybody too, always reach out to us. We're booking all kinds of shows. We're ready to rock for you.
That's right,
You want us to play at a beautiful venue, we got you. If you have a zip code, we'll play there. That's the only prerequisite.
You needed a
Got
zip
5
code.
digits.
That's right. Anyway, thank you guys so much.
Oh, yeah.
And
Thank you.
we will see you all summer long.
Sounds good.
So there is Matty, Todd, and Seth, Trouble City All-Stars. Just such a fun time. Just an amazing, just total fun, cool, interesting conversation. And love the time there. And also super thank you to Sam Misoto of Bond Place Brewing for letting us set up at the Bavarian Tavern. Just feeling pretty thankful for all of that. And as we head into springtime and the summer, there's just nothing better than some reggae music. So hopefully you enjoyed all of that. And you will check them out as they present themselves for your ear holes.
All right, Phil, let's say goodbye to everybody.
We hope that you have enjoyed this episode of Your Next Favorite Band. We would like to sincerely thank Matty, Todd, and Seth Juknevic of Trouble City All-Stars for sharing their stories about how they came to love playing music, love enjoying music, and starting from punk all the way through all of their various iterations into the reggae dub. There will be links in the corner to all of their social media and the various different ways to connect to them and their music. And you'll check that all out. As always, our hope here is to bring you your next favorite band. If you were already a fan of Trouble City, then we thank you for tuning in. We hope that you enjoyed it and that you will like and subscribe and follow us so that you can discover your next favorite band in the coming weeks and months. We have a lot of great things coming up here, and so hopefully you'll tune in to enjoy that. And if you would like to enjoy it,
It's all over now.